What's up, guys, and welcome to our first episode of One Dream Fishing. This is kind of a new endeavor for all of us. Some of y'all may know me as Jacob for real, and then these two do RM Bassin. But we are coming together to kind of form this group. We're going to be doing tournament videos, challenge videos, kind of showing the college aspect of just the tournament world, and then kind of showing the youth and showing y'all how to get into tournaments, how to break down lakes, different techniques, all that kind of stuff. But
One Dream Fishing, that is our channel name. So all three of us are fishing in college, and we all have one common goal, and that's to make it to the next level. Our one dream is to fish a pro circuit.
So we are all on the DBU Bass team. We all got recruited here. It is our freshman year here. We have only one more event left of our fall season, which is basically like just a starter season because college season doesn't actually start till the spring. But we're all freshmen, all business marketing. We're all trying to see what we can do in the college scene. But we're here to bring you along, show you the way, and kind of explain what we're doing through travel vlogs, that kind of stuff. Alright guys, so we are going to get rolling with our first video. We're going to be doing, like I said, podcasts, vlogs, kind of tournament and lake breakdowns. But we are going to roll into our podcast. It's called ODF Podcast, One Dream Fishing. We're going to break down our first two events. That was an ACS at Lake Dardanelle and an FLW Regional Championship at the Arkansas River at the Little Rock Pool. So let's start off with Dardanelle. I think y'all had a pretty good time there. So
Yes.
Why don't we start with practice?
Alright, so the first day of practice.
We had 2 days of practice.
Yeah, we had 2 days of practice. It was not so good. Mark and I found some spots. We looked at the lake kind of prior to getting there, and we caught fish pretty quick, just nothing of any size, and then our bite really shut off. We were never really on anything throughout practice, and we kind of got down. We even got to the point where we tied on a bull shad and said we're gonna throw this the entire time and hope we get one giant.
We got pretty desperate.
We got desperate. Yeah. And then the end of the second day, we were like, you know what? We kind of stayed in the southern end of the Dardanelle, and we were like, let's just get away from this and just throw kind of things that we're confident in. So we chose a creek up north.
Yeah, we had the night before the second day of practice. We kind of got in the hotel room, kind of regrouped, had a plan for the second day, and we both came across this creek that was up north of Dardanelle. And so towards the end of the second day, we're like, all right, let's just, we weren't doing good again. We're like, let's just go to this creek, and like Reese said, just throw something that we're confident with. So we headed up there to that creek, and we were fishing channel swings, which is, popular in Dardanelle. And Reese flips in on this tree, sets the hook. No, I'm sorry. No, it didn't happen like that. He flips into this tree, and he goes, Mark, look, my line is swimming. And we were trying to figure out if we're going to shake it off. I was like, Reese, just set the hook. We need to see what kind of fish it was. Sure enough, Reese sets the hook, and it was a 6-pounder, and he boat flips it. And so it was our first good fish of practice. We got hyped, we high-fived, got some pictures, and then we started running this pattern of lay down trees on channel swings, and in like 20 minutes we shook 6 fish off. And so we were like, all right, we are on to something, and it's time to head back and get a good night's rest. So tournament day.
Yeah, so during tournament day, we started in that creek, obviously, because we had nothing else to run. And so early in the morning, I think the fish were a little more active, and so Mark was hopping his D-bomb, and I was kind of dragging mine because that's how I had success with that big one. And Mark was just tearing them up in the morning and started catching them left and right. I think I caught our first fish off that same tree where I caught that 6-pounder.
Yeah, you did.
And so we were basically just running the spots that we went through practice, shaking fish off, and
I think we caught 4 out of the 5 fish we shook off.
Yeah, which is pretty nice because we put little stars on our graph, so we knew exactly where they were. So it was pretty cool to see that we could actually shake the fish off in practice and go back and catch them. So I mean, we were catching fish the whole day.
It was a very fun day.
Yeah, it was just all about really just staying at it, flipping, and just because we knew that there was fish in there, we knew that there was big ones, and it was just kind of like waiting our time out until we caught the right ones. So Mark ended up flipping in a tree, kind of about like, what do you say, 11 o'clock or so?
Mid-morning.
Yeah, and Smoke, you can tell him how you caught it.
Yeah, so I flipped in this tree and I got a bite, and it was just like a thum, thum. I was like, and I missed him, and I was like, it's little. And I flipped back in there, and he does the same thing, and I set the hook. It was a 4.5 pounder. We got excited. I got so excited. Here, I'll roll the clip. I didn't even show the camera. And so then, that was our first good fish. We got a limit, and we just started calling all day. And then towards the end of the day, we had about 16 pounds. We were feeling pretty confident that's a good bag on Dardanelle. But we still have one fish that was about 2.5 pounds. And me and Reese, we set a goal. We were like, all right, we got 2 hours to cull this last fish out. And unfortunately, we didn't get it on camera, but Reese will tell you how he caught it.
Yeah, so we just kept running some new spots and just went through that channel swing kind of deal and just followed that channel all the way back. Just kept working it, and there was a lay down tree, and we had just literally just discussed, like, we need one big fish, and I think we got it.
One more big fish.
And yeah, so I flip in a tree, I feel a bite, and I'm like, that doesn't feel like a stick. And so I lift on it, and I swing on it, and it was a big, and it was like a 5.5.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. And we were hyped. We just knew that was gonna set us apart from the rest of the field, because a good bag at Dardanelle is usually over 15, 16 pounds. So
that fish put us at 18 pounds.
Yeah. So we ended up leaving the creek right after that. I just knew that we wanted to give ourselves plenty of time to get back to the weigh-in, because
we had a 20-mile run back downriver.
Yeah. So we ended up heading to weigh-in. We ended up weighing 18:04, I think.
Yeah.
And we're able to get the dub, which is pretty cool for our first tournament.
First college tournament.
Yeah, so that was nice. Jacob?
Yeah, so my Dardanelle experience wasn't quite that great. First day of practice, we ran up north. We actually didn't go into their Magic Creek, which we probably should have. But we ran up there, kind of flipped some main river stuff, went back in a couple of creeks, and didn't really find anything. I think I only caught like one fish there. So I was very, very confused. So the next day, we literally had nothing figured out on day one. So it was just very frustrating, similar to what they had going on. Then the second day, we ran into Illinois Bayou, which, if any of y'all know Dardanelle, which is basically the most popular part of Dardanelle.
Yeah.
And we were just like, we can't find anything up north, so like, screw it, we're going into Illinois. And we went in there, found this one spot, and I mean, right off the bat with a shaky head, I caught one about 3.5, and just kind of kept working that area, shook off like, I think 5 or 6 more, and we were starting to feel a little bit confident, and we were like, we want to get like at least one more spot. So we ran about halfway from being all the way up north and found this little canal with a bunch of riprap rock, and started fishing that. And my partner shook off one as soon as we got there, and we were like, we aren't gonna mess with this anymore, so we left out of there and went into tournament day thinking we could get 5 bites at our first spot, and that just didn't work out. I caught one about 3, and then we only caught one other little 12-inch spot, which was very depressing because we thought we had some pretty good fish in that area. But we decided to leave that area around, I think, noon. We were kind of starting to scramble. Went up to that canal, and we're like, we're just going to sit here the rest of the day. No matter what happens, we're not leaving. Kind of made that decision, and about 1:30, just kind of got in a flurry for about 15 minutes. Caught 3 fish, one of them being about 2.5 on a shaky head. And then it's time to go weigh in. Only weighed in, like, I think it was 9:07, but it was good for 11th place. Not a bad way to start college, but it considering they doubled my weight, it wasn't the best way to start, but I'll take it.
Hey, y'all had a very respectable finish.
Yeah.
It's a tough lake.
It's a very tough lake. If none of y'all fish Arkansas, don't. It sucks. At least the parts we have seen are not fun to fish.
Oh gosh.
You need to tell them about your shaky head.
Oh yeah.
Or is that
Okay.
a secret?
No, that's fine. We can discuss it. Well, I guess we can give a little bit of secrets. We said we were gonna break down. So, about 1 o'clock, I kept on getting hit on the shaky head, and I'm like, I have no idea why I'm not hooking up on these fish. And I was getting to my breaking point. I was very frustrated, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make like a little trailer hook. So I tied a piece of braid to the bend on the shaky head hook, and then put like a little wacky rig hook in the tail of the shaky head, and literally like 2 casts I caught, of course not a keeper, but a 10-inch spot, and he only had the trailer hook on. And then soon enough it worked on that 2.5 pounder, and I got him, and I probably wouldn't have got that fish if I did not put that trailer hook on, which is just kind of something you got to think on the fly and adjust. Sometimes it's not going to be that same bite that you think is going to be there. You got to change it up from what everybody else is doing.
For sure. Tackle tip.
Tackle tip. Alright, but moving on to the FLW at the Arkansas River. And I think these were back-to-back, weren't they?
Yes. Yeah.
They were back-to-back weeks.
First 2 college tournaments.
Now, the funny part, and the part about college fishing, which for some of you that are not in college, is there's these things that like to get in the way of fishing, and they're called exams. And so me
Good
and
old
Mark,
exams.
yeah, good old exams. And me and Mark had an exam that was going to be on Thursday. Now the tournament was on Friday, and we were very concerned because we were not going to be able to miss this exam. So the plan was that our partners were going to go up there, practice, basically tell us what's going to happen, and then as soon as we got out of our class at like 3 o'clock, we'd get in the truck, go as fast as we can, 5 hours to Arkansas River, get there, and then just basically go out and find whatever that they found out during those practice days. But we were able to get it changed by the grace of God. Our professors said that we could do it the next week, which thank you.
By the way, the professors at DBU are super chill.
Yes,
Yeah, they're awesome.
they are amazing. But we were able to leave on Tuesday with the team, which was very exciting. We went up there, and I was thinking it was going to be better than Dardanelle. Maybe just because of it was just a river instead of... Dardanelle kind of fishes like a lake and a river at the same time, which is... It sounds confusing because it is. It is a very difficult place. But the Arkansas River, I thought was going to fish a little bit better just because it's a full-blown river. It doesn't kind of fish like a lake. So, first day of practice, you can fish the main pool, and then you can lock once up north and one south. I think the middle pool is pool 5. You can go up to pool 6 or down to pool 4. Maybe. Don't hold me to that. But me and my partner decided that we wanted to fish the main pool just in case somehow we got stuck in there. We found out after 5 hours that there's no fish in there. I fished about everything.
It was the suction.
We just had a GoPro mount fall on us.
Ghost.
Yeah, ghoster in the dorms. So we fished about everything. I never even got a bite. And we're like, you know what? We're going to lock down south and basically just eliminate water. So we locked down south, and not even like 5 minutes into it, we broke a trolling motor prop, which I'll roll a picture into here.
On that picture.
I've never done something like that, but it literally just sliced the prop in half. And I don't honestly know what we hit. I think we hit a log or something. But we went behind a wing dam with a regular trolling motor and came out with a broken one. So we had to replace that trolling motor prop and get back to it. And about another 4 hours fishing down south, we were like, you know what? There's no fish in the main pool or the south pool. And we went back to the hotel just like Dardanelle, knowing not anything of what to do. So that was, how many practice days did we have for that?
We had two.
We had two, yeah.
We had 2.
2 full days.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and then the next day, we said we already did the main pool and the south pool, and we were going to go up north, and we weren't going to leave up north. We do a lot of things where we're like, we're not going to leave, which might be a mistake. But we went up north, and we decided to go up in this creek and just take it as far as we could. We actually got the boat stuck multiple times trying to do that. But we were able to get up there and find a good amount of cypress trees that weren't too many, but they were kind of isolated. And then as we were coming out of there was an old road where you could see both of the sides of the road, and in the middle it was just like chunk concrete. Cast it in there, and we shook off about 3 or 4. And then working past that bridge, my partner caught about a 3.5 on a spinnerbait, and then I shook off, I think, another 3 or 4 flipping cypress trees. We felt pretty confident doing that, and we were like, you know what, we just want to mark one more thing off the list and get off the water. Ran all the way up north, and we were like, we're going to run some wing dams with a crankbait. So first wing dam we go on, I catch like a 3.5, almost 4 pounder, and we're like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And we're like, we're just going to keep on fishing, hope it was a fluke. And then literally like maybe 5 minutes later, my partner hooks. It broke off, but we saw him, so I think it was bigger than 4. I think it was pushing 7, but you really can't tell. It was
12 pounds.
It could have been 15 pounds. I mean, I honestly don't know.
Gosh dang, record.
And and on the Arkansas River, anything over 3 pounds.
Yeah,
is
anything over
massive.
3 pounds is literally like going to same river and catching a 17 pounder.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
So we were kind of like starstruck on what to do. So we're like, you know what? We're just gonna think that they're not gonna be pulling current tomorrow, and just go and fish the creek. Which is another thing which some of you, if y'all don't fish rivers, there is current, and sometimes there's a lot of it where not even an 112 pound thrust Ultrex can't keep up. You got that thing on 100 and you're not going forward. You're just going backwards, which it's different. And then another thing on rivers is locks. But I think y'all have a lock experience to tell.
Go for it. Am I talking about the first day of practice?
Yeah. Talk about the whole thing.
Okay, yeah. So, the Arkansas River, right after Dardanelle, we were kind of fired up. You know, we had momentum going in there. So, we basically just started doing the same thing that we did at Dardanelle. But actually, the first day of practice, we started on some boat docks right off of the main river. And we caught a couple good fish, 2 pounders, 2.5 pounders. And then we fished this one spot that Reese found on Google Earth. Tell them about that.
Yeah, so I was looking at Google Earth, and so I use Google Earth and like Navionics and stuff, just kind of find spots. But Google Earth is kind of cool, especially if you're fishing like shallow. There's a lot of stuff that you can see on Google Earth that Navionics doesn't show you. So this spot was actually a like an underwater bubbler. And so when I looked on Google Earth, the thing was just like chiming out water, just pushing water out everywhere. So I was like, this just gotta have fish. This is gonna be one of those things that always holds fish. So we went there. I knew exactly where it was. I kind of put a waypoint in Mark's boat, so we knew exactly where to go. But we go there, and there's no water being pushed. And we're like, is there a bubble in there? So we go up to it. We're kind of fishing down the bank, and you can see just a little bit just coming out. It's just bubbles coming from the bottom. And you would never know if you didn't see it on Google Earth. So Mark threw in there. I think Mark got smoked right away.
It was a big one.
Mark thought it was a big one. And so we're like, you know what? This could just be one thing we pull up, and if we need to fish, we can come there and catch fish. And so we went down that bank, had docks all down it. So we just kept going. Mark caught one. I think I shook 2 off, and we were like, okay, there's fish in this area. It was just like nice because at Dardanelle we never found anything really early in practice.
Yeah.
And then the first spot we went to during the Arkansas River just started paying off real quick. So after that, we just kind of went upriver. Just we're looking at, there's so many, like in the north section of that little area we were in, there were so many little fingers, like little arms. And And so we were kind of picking out stuff that looked just like Dardanelle because for some reason in a river system, unlike a lake, the main lake is usually clearer than the back of a creek. But in a river, the river is like really muddy and the backwaters are super clean. So I don't like fishing muddy water, especially muddy moving water. So we were like, let's just go check out the back of these creeks. We kept going through. The first 2 creeks we went to,
they were muddy.
Yeah, there was nothing in them. So we just rid those off. We're like, all right, nothing there. Then we went in one creek that was just really small. Navionics didn't really show much on it because I don't know, once you get past a certain area in Navionics, it kind of cuts out. It's not too reliable, but we went in there and there was rocks everywhere. There was trees, and we were like,
clear water.
Clear water, that's what it was like. Okay.
Yeah, and bait.
Yeah, it's gonna be
lots of bait.
Yeah, so we kept doing basically exactly what we did Dardanelle. Just
started
flipping trees and rock and just bite after bite after bite in that creek. You're like, okay, there's some fish in here too. Gave us a little bit of confidence. Then we go into the first day of practice after that, or first day of practice. We go into the tournament after that, and after practice, I think we decided to start in that little creek that we found later.
That's where we had the most bites.
We had the most bites, and Mark caught a keeper in there, and we were like, okay, I think they're all going to be keepers.
Yeah, so we shook some off.
We were like, so we just thought we were going to start there, and once we locked up, well, after we got out of the lock, one was died because it was like...
It was our first locking experience. It was a giant lock. There's, I think, 27 boats probably. I think that's what it was.
Something like that.
Locked up to the upper pool from the Little Rock pool. And we were literally the last boat to leave the lock, and it's like it's a shotgun start out of the lock.
It is scary.
So I mean, you just got 26 boats in front of you taking off, and there's just waves like everywhere, and it was pretty scary. But
you're almost dying.
Yeah. So we came out of the lock and we ran up to our spot that we had shook fish off in practice the day before, and we started catching a lot of fish.
Well, no. First off, we went to the docks.
Oh yeah.
Say how we came out and we were planning on going to the creek, but we just had a feeling.
Are y'all on tournament?
So yeah, we came out of the lock and we we ended up going to the boat docks first because we had a good feeling. The weather was changing. It was overcast and windy, so we didn't think the flip and bite was going to be as good as it would be in the later part of the day. So we started early in the morning at the boat docks, and Reese was throwing a spinnerbait.
Yeah, so we kind of were just going down the boat docks. We went through like 3 of them and just weren't getting any bites. We were like kind of getting down. We were like, oh man, it's not really paying out like instantly like we expected it to, which was kind of stupid. But I just had a feeling to pick up a spinnerbait since it was windy, overcast, and early in the mornings. It's kind of like they might not be on that flipping bite yet, so maybe just try a moving bait. So literally first cast with the spinnerbait, I casted it parallel with the rocks and just got smoked. It wasn't a keeper, but it was just nice to know that there were still fish there. And then, so literally like to the left of those docks that we were fishing, there's this little island, and there's a lay down off the point, and Mark can kind of explain why he had a good feeling about that area.
Yeah. So the wind was actually blowing like into the brush pile, or it was on the backside of an island, excuse me, and the wind was coming from this way, and so it was a current break on the brush pile. So I was like, Reese, we need to skip over there. There's like definitely gonna be fish in there. So we'll roll a clip here. Actually, catch one. But it was not a keeper, and so we kept fishing the tree. Roll another clip of Reese throwing a square bill in the tree, and yeah, he caught a catfish.
Thought it was a big one.
But yeah, so we came out of there with we ended up having one keeper. You caught one keeper on a spinnerbait.
Oh yeah, it was a spinnerbait fish, yeah.
Yeah, and so we had one keeper and we went up to our creek, and we started flipping. and we started catching a lot of small fish. But we ended up getting 3 more keepers.
Yeah, we had 3 more keepers.
So we had 4.
We had 4. We had a 5th one on. It was like a 2-pounder too, but
Oh yeah.
he just completely choked my D-bomb, and so he was just bleeding. He had like a seizure in the live well.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna let him go before he really dies.
Yeah, because we thought we could
can't
catch.
him,
Yeah,
so.
we thought we could catch more 2-pounders.
Yeah, and so we just kept going through, and we're catching like 12 inchers.
Yeah.
It was really frustrating. So what time do you think it was? 12 o'clock?
Yeah, we came out there at 12:30.
12:30. So we literally went as far back in that creek as you could
Yeah.
go and fished everything, flipped every tree. We really got on a good pattern in there, which was literally like if you had the bank, it would be like 2 foot off, and there was a stump or just a lay down. There was just a fish on it for some reason. So we were just flipping all that, and once we were done, we left at like 12:30. And we were headed down to, I don't know where we were heading, but we were headed to another spot,
Yeah.
and we saw
We
the
almost
lock.
died.
Yeah, we saw the lock, or not the lock,
No. We saw a barge.
a barge.
Heading towards the lock. So yeah, it was our first locking experience. Well, first off, let me
Is this
talk
when
about-
y'all hit the barge wave?
This is when slow down when you're passing a barge, guys, because I was driving. We were rolling about 65 downriver, and I was gonna pass this barge. I was like, oh, he's not even pushing out a wake. So the barge is actually pushing these 2 giant cargo ship things,
Yeah.
and the barge itself puts out like a tiny wake. But I did not know that the giant cargo ships put out like a 7-foot wake. So I was running about 65, and I didn't see the wave until we hit it. And with the boat literally went up in the air and went sideways. I thought we were going to be ejected, but we survived.
Terrifying.
It was terrifying. Reese almost flew out. And,
It was so bad.
but anyways, it was 12:30 and Wayne was at 3. The barge was 7 miles from the lock. So yeah, so it was a pretty. We didn't know what to do, so we called our buddy Ryan, which is Jacob's partner. He's a senior here at DBU, and we're like, look, man, do we need to lock down before this barge or after this barge? And so Ryan called. He's like, all right, just give me a minute. I'll call you back. He's gonna call the lockmaster. So me and Reese go back to the boat docks where we started in the morning, and that's where the bubbler was. So we're like, we're just gonna stop here and fish and wait for Ryan to call us back. So we pull over to the river, on the side of the river, and start fishing the bubbler, and Ryan calls. Right as I throw in a Texas rig crawl, I'm working it down these rocks by the bubbler, and I'm on the phone with Ryan. And Ryan's like, look, dude, we need to lock down now, because the lockmaster is going to let us down before the barge. And I was like, all right. And about that time, I get smoked on my Texas rig. So I throw my phone at the bottom of the boat, set the hook, and it's like a 2-pounder. So we're pumped. It was,
Yeah,
no, it's like a,
no. What happened was you set the hook, and your rod was straight up, and your fish was under the boat.
yeah, that's what it
I was like, what is going on?
It was a weird hook set. It was like kind of one-handed because I was throwing my phone in. And it was crazy. It was actually like a 2.5-pounder.
It was a good fish. It was bigger than anyone we had in
Yeah.
the live well at that point.
So we got a limit. We were super excited. Reese nets it, throws it in the live well. We're high-fiving. Reese throws a spinnerbait out there, loads up on one, and it was right off of the bubbler. And it was insane.
It was like 2 minutes.
Yeah, back-to-back casts.
Yeah, it was like crazy because we only had 4 fish.
Yeah.
And we're like, man, we need if we get a limit
Yeah.
out there, it's kind of like you have a chance of doing good.
Yeah.
And so just catching those fish right away was like, dang, man, I wish we had come here a little earlier because
Yeah.
we could actually had gotten like 13, 14 pounds. So
But we went from 7 pounds to 10 pounds
and like
2 casts
yeah,
back to back.
ridiculous.
And so we threw the trolling motor up on the boat, and then we headed back down to the lock. And there was a bunch of other boats there waiting. Everybody was stressing because the barge was coming. They were talking to the lockmaster, and he was going to talk to the barge driver to see if he was going to let us through. So we sat there for like 45 minutes. We lost to fishing. And finally, the lockmaster was like, all right, everybody in, and we're like, everybody's going fast.
Yeah, basically, you're on plane getting into
Yeah,
the lock so
yeah.
you can get us in and out as quick as possible so that
Yeah.
barge can come
It
in.
was pretty crazy locking.
Yeah, they locked down with us. So we got down to the main pool, and we had about 45 minutes left to fish. Didn't have anything down there. Fished a little bit, didn't catch nothing. We ended up going to weighed in 10 pounds,
2 ounces, I think. 2
Yeah.
pounds, 2 ounces.
something like that. Yeah, and it was good enough for 7th place, and they take the top 10 to the national championship. So me and Reese qualified for the national championship next year, February, on Harris Chain in Florida. So we're super excited about that. It was an awesome tournament. We had a blast. Even though it was rough, we had new experiences. I mean, we locked. We almost died from a barge. it was a fun tournament. So
Yeah, my tournament, we ran up north. We all kind of locked together.
Yeah.
Went up north, and we went to our creek with the roadbed. We flipped the trees right by the roadbed, and I think we pulled off 2. I think we got 3, but 1 wasn't a keeper. Like, literally, maybe in the first 15 minutes, we're like, today's going to be a good day. Well, it turned out not to be. Kept on working that, and then, I mean, it's not a big area, so we got 2 fish out of there, and then just started working the cypress trees around noon. I think, yeah, around noon, I caught our kicker, which was like I think like a 2.5, maybe pushing 3. I'm not exactly sure. And then just kept on working that, and we're like, we think we can get 2 more if we just work these cypress trees the rest of the day. That didn't pan out. We were able to get 1 more on spinnerbait, and we ended with 4 for 7-6, which wasn't too bad. It got us, I think, 26th place. Not quite 10 pounds, but it was respectable for that lake,
for sure,
for that river.
1 fish out of it.
the
Yeah,
weights
just 1
were
fish.
so tight. Yeah.
Yeah, we could not find that 5th fish. It got pretty hard. And then when we locked down, we had about an hour, but we had practice in that lock and had absolutely nothing to run. So we just never found our 5th fish, but overall it wasn't that bad of an event. Alrighty guys, that is it for our recap of our first 2 events. If y'all have any questions about like more in depth on some of the techniques, if y'all want us to explain things, maybe go in depth on the traveling a little bit more, we will have vlogs on our future tournaments on more of the travel aspect of it, and then we will keep with these podcasts of breaking down the lakes. But put in the comments if y'all want to see any other types of podcasts. But as always, thanks for watching. God bless, and we'll see you on the next episode of ODF.
Waboo!
What does that mean? Okay, so after
Why you just say it? Why are you asking them? Did you wandering fishing? The hell does that
Work on Monday. Alright, guys.
mean? All right. So
No.
leave a comment because like I have no idea where I am.
You're an idiot.
Oh man.
You're so mean.